there a button or something? Or?
No, they know we're here.
Can I help you?
Yeah, we need to file a report.
Okay, what for?
Officer, for a reckless driver.
Okay, 1 second. And what's your name?
It'll be me, Lori Vandiger.
Okay.
I'll be the
Who
one
was the reckless
filing.
driver?
I'm sorry?
Who was the reckless driver?
We don't know who the person was, but we have video, dash cam, and
Okay, I'll have an officer come down.
Rude.
can you read the names up there? At the top, read all the names.
Hold on.
She's over there, that's her. I think that's the same lady that does this. Well, I'm just telling you. I'm not saying.
How you doing? Did you guys need to talk to somebody or anything?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. They said that you were here, but I didn't know if you specifically requested to talk to somebody or not.
Gonna hold that.
Well, while he was standing there, she rudely.
Yeah. So she told me.
I understand
Okay.
that it's. I understand that, but they could say to someone, "Please,
I understand.
you know, we're gonna put this down now."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah. She did tell me that she closed it because they had their computers up.
Yeah, I understand that,
Okay.
but yeah,
So-
I get it.
This is actually for her. I'm just
Yeah.
navigating the phone stuff for her. But she needs to file a report.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have an email to send the video to or how you'd want to do it exactly. But so fast forward. Okay. She's coming up there on Washington.
Okay.
So that vehicle stopped first.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped. than that other vehicle there. So you see her swerve.
Yeah.
Now let me.
Is he coming up behind her or something?
Oh no.
Oh no, he would have shoved, if he had hit me, he would have probably shoved me right over into that field.
Yeah.
So this is the back camera.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta. Okay, take a second here.
I like that camera. It's a good camera. Ooh.
So yeah, we don't necessarily have a license plate of the vehicle, but we can view the video. You can probably zoom in, see
Yeah.
some features of the vehicle.
And there was a there was a vehicle behind him. When we went up Washington, my husband said, oh, that person who just did that had turned off. But then the other vehicle was behind us. Once I got turned by CVS to go towards McDonald's, that person that was behind that other vehicle passed me, so we might be able to catch the plate number of that, where,
Okay. Well, we might be able to just.
now the fact that so many people don't like me, whether they tell the truth or
understand.
not, that I don't know.
We might
But
be able to spend some time looking at the video and figure out, who it might be. So.
I don't know if Lincoln Hills.
Chris Kale's shop,
Yeah, I'm trying
maybe.
to think. I think
Has cameras
I think
out.
theirs might be on the back side, but I can check and see.
They do have one at the stop light, or at the stop signs right there on the corner, but I know that from all the nights that I was walking, but whether it just faces the sidewalk or what, I don't,
Yeah,
probably,
I'm thinking it does. It's just
Probably.
the sidewalk. But,
yeah.
do you feel like that? It's hard for me to see just by looking at that. But do you think that this was?
I have no idea.
A near miss accident, or do you think that
It could have
Well, it was
been.
reckless driving.
It
Either
really
way.
could have
Yeah.
been an accident. You know what I'm
just-
saying?
but there-
Not necessarily on purpose by
Right, that's
someone
what I
who
mean.
doesn't like
There's-
me.
Yeah, no, we're not.
There's two
We're
different-
claiming
not.
it was-
We're not
Could be two
claiming
different
that.
things,
Yeah, we're not claiming that because we don't know their mindset.
Yeah.
You know,
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't somebody that you felt like.
I have
had
no idea who it
aggression
was,
towards you or
so I
something, or-
can't say that.
Okay.
Right?
So, and then, I don't know if you have.
Are you able to send that? I mean,
Yeah, I
is
was
it too
gonna say-
big to send to like our?
We could probably upload it to YouTube, and then send you the link.
Okay, that would
Or-
be fine. The other thing is, it would take me a minute to do it, but I can give you a citizen upload link on our cloud for our body camera stuff, and you can upload it to that. But it would take me a little bit to get that.
We could try. I've not used that system, so I mean.
Well, why don't I tell you what? Let me message you that link in a little while, okay?
Okay.
Because I have to get it to my computer and fire it up or whatever. So if you give me a little bit of time, I'll send that link to you, and then you can upload it to that. That way, it's on our cloud for us, so we can share it with all the officers and find out who it might be and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, someone might be like, "Oh yeah, I recognize that truck."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff,
That's
so-
what I mean with it being a small town. The guys might recognize them and see, because it would be worth knowing, if this was. It's doubtful that it might have been somebody that was like intentionally trying to ram her, but we can check, So
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, even
I'm
if
not
it's-
claiming that
yeah,
because I don't
we're
know
not-
who it was, so
Understand.
I wouldn't
It
do
was
that to
definitely
somebody.
reckless at,
Yeah.
least.
Well, yeah.
But,
I mean, something.
And then I posted to your guys' Facebook page the video of one of your officers not coming to a complete stop. Has that been
I
addressed?
did. I actually, that got sent to me the day.
I have more,
Okay.
but it's on the phone that's
That
recording
got
right
sent
now.
to me on, let's see, we were doing shop with the cop that day. I think it was Sunday when somebody sent that to me. And when I got there, that officer was there. And I talked to him about it because it was easy to know which officer it was because I had a wreath on the front of his car.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cute car.
Yeah, so,
but
I spoke with him and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, he acknowledged it or whatever that, so I did address it, okay? So,
well, I have a couple more that I'm gonna be uploading to YouTube that I'll share maybe later tonight or something.
okay.
So, and a couple sheriff deputies vehicles. So
Okay.
should lead by example. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree.
So,
I don't disagree.
but yeah, if you want to the link upload thing or whatever, we can try to go through that and
I saw
Send it to you.
I saw a good picture of you.
What?
I saw a good picture of you before.
I
the
don't
parade.
even know the officer's name.
Did you know that? I mean,
He's gonna retire, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alexander.
What was it?
Jim
I
Alexander.
probably won't remember it.
He's a reserve. That's him, the bottom left up there.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. Maybe if I
And
need to remember.
I saw that picture and I thought, I like that picture. That's a good picture. I haven't seen you in a while. Hadn't heard.
No, I
anything
had
from you.
shingles in my eye. I had shingles really bad,
her
and
eyesight went.
it invaded
Yeah.
into my eye
Oh my
really bad,
goodness.
and my whole cornea was missing. And the
I bet that was
doctor, it was, yeah.
I had to force her to go to the doctor.
My gosh, I had it on the back of my shoulder blade one time. The shingles. And it
Yeah,
hurt so bad. I can't imagine it on my eye.
I've had, he said that's the worst kind of pain because of all the amount of nerves that are in the eye. It's some of the worst pain the human body can endure. And that's like for me to be hit. This is why I stop at stop signs, okay? Because to me, it's like a death sentence to me because I have suffered so much pain for so long that every day, okay, I don't even want to be here. And to be hit and to have more pain inflicted upon me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the pain inflicted upon, well, sometimes I get mad and say things, but that don't really mean, you know what I'm saying? But, but however, like I told the eye doctor about this shingles thing, I said, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
He said he had like 3 other cases,
I bet that would have been awful.
and he said all the case, and then another eye doctor had a case or 2 or whatever, and they said that they were the worst cases they had ever seen. They can't figure out why these were the worst cases they had ever seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I was at work once before, and like the side of my head and ear just started feeling really weird and kind of
Hmm.
painful. Like I was just talking about it to a coworker, and he's like, "It's probably shingles."
Well, and I had been feeling the same thing. I was like, and I had shingles before, but never like that,
Yeah.
And so but even I questioned it, like, why is my face hurting and my head hurting? And it was all on one side. That should have been my clue right there.
Yeah.
But I still
I never
didn't,
heard of it
until it
either.
started breaking
That's the
out,
first
I
time I've heard
didn't.
of it. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, you can go blind. I actually
I've heard of
lost
it in,
my
like,
vision.
The arms and back of the legs and stuff, but I've never heard of it. I just can't imagine. I bet that
And it went in my good eye. Because I only have one good eye. And it went in my good eye.
That one did.
I mean, but the good part was for a little while I could barely make out Ronnie's face. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a good thing, huh?
Hey, he's picking on me all the time, so I got.
Yeah.
And
Pick on
God
him,
forbid, I hope no one ever goes through it, but kidney stones.
I've been lucky, I guess. I haven't had them, but I've heard those too.
I woke up, I thought somebody was literally stabbing me to death.
And I'm 600 miles away, and he is screaming on the phone, bloody murder, like screaming.
Yeah.
And I'm 600 miles away and can't help him.
Felt pretty helpless, I bet. So.
Yeah.
Well, the ambulance people got a kick out of it. I'm like, I feel like I'm giving birth to an effing hippo. Because the pain was just, it goes into your stomach and...
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll edit this video. What do you think?
No, I'm not going.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we're probably not going to post
We're
this
giving
video.
our whole medical history here, I think. So.
Good Lord. Swear to
Well, no, I'll
God.
be happy to set that out and see if we can figure out who that is. Okay, so I'll send you that link and whatnot. So,
Alrighty.
other than that, you guys doing okay?
Fair to middling.
Good.
Yeah, but we need some warmer weather.
Right on.
So if you have any connections to the weather,
I
man.
tell you what, it was real cold a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
And
was
then
colder.
we kind of got, some 50s and whatnot, but
But hey, I was telling him about a time I stood in an alleyway and it was 0 degrees and 2 officers were running their cars guarding a free man. I guess it was a domestic dispute or something and he had to leave,
oh,
but he was waiting on a ride to come. So they were in their warm cars running it. My video, I believe, was just a little over an hour long and it was 0 degrees and I stood out there that whole time.
dang.
So let me tell you something. Sometimes that's like having an ice pack on your whole body, which sometimes you need an ice pack. And so it's kind of like having an ice pack on your whole body, but you feel it the next day. You know what I'm saying? Everything takes its toll. But
And I don't know if you've seen any of the other videos that I posted of stop sign runners.
I haven't.
There's some that they came down just to, like, go crazy.
Just to encounter you.
But
Well,
there was
you're
some,
probably getting a little bit used to that here, aren't you? I mean, as far as that goes.
I
It
expected.
doesn't matter what
I
they
mean,
say to me. I could care less
You
what
know,
they say.
Something that I think you would appreciate. I teach the criminal justice class at the high school. That's how I end my day. Well, I don't end my day. I go over there. I sign off duty, go over there, teach a class for one period, and then I come back to work. But we've been talking about amendments this week, and one of the kids actually brought you all up.
Really, that's awesome.
And they said, well, what about that lady that films all the time down there on Main Street? And I said, well, I know who you're talking about. And I said, let's talk about that. So we went into this long discussion, and I said, well, what do you guys think? I said, those people, I didn't use your all's names, obviously, but I said,
It's okay if you do.
I said, a lot of what they're doing, I said, I know people butt heads with them, but I said, a lot of what they're doing is trying to educate. And I said, a lot of people don't really understand, what the amendments are and all that. We talked about it, and, we used the example of how many times we're on camera everywhere we go, right? I mean, traffic lights or
Exactly.
whatever, you might walking down the sidewalk, there's 50 cameras.
If
that
you
are
go to the
looking
senior dance, they gonna see how you dance.
That's right. Yeah. And you go in Walmart, of course, Walmart's private property and all that. But
Yeah.
still, and we just used that example, and I said it's just people get uneasy about it immediately, and they go on the defense. But we had a really good conversation. I was proud of the kids that they brought that up and wanted to talk about it.
Well, that one night I was filming, don't ask me what street it was. I want to say it was 14th Street and something, but I can't remember the something. And it was late at night, and I heard the cops tell the kid something about, well, technically, you're being charged with a level 6 felony. And then two of the kids got in the car with that. I believe it was two got in the car with Ash Reserve because I think they had to have their parents come get them or something. I'm not sure. So they were probably just getting them out of the cold or something. But I made sure I stated, Frazier v. Cup says that the police, I'm sorry to say this, but the police can lie and manipulate you. So, I just stated it so that they, oh, well, I'm not in any trouble because, you know why? They're young and naive and they don't understand every word they say. Even if they're not the one being charged, it's going to be used against their friend.
That's right.
That's right. That's why I do what I do.
And believe it or not, I tell those kids a lot of the same thing in my class, because I think it's important for them to know those things, like we were talking about searching, consent to search and things like that. And I told them, I said, just because an officer asks you for consent to search doesn't mean you have to say yes.
Right.
Sometimes we feel like that, kids, or anybody for that matter, feel like that they may have to because of an authority or whatever.
Yeah.
We talked about that kind of stuff. But I think nobody told me that stuff when I was in school. And I think that people should know that, so.
I think that's kind of where a lot of the problem is these days, is a lot of people, they say they know their rights, and I'm not saying that they don't, but 99 out of 100 times, yeah, they know the basics, but they don't know the extents. There's case law,
That's right.
There's Supreme Court case law. Some case law may not apply to Indiana, some does, some applies to all states. They don't understand.
Well, who could understand it all? Just like I posted online, there's so many laws. There's no way we could all know the law, and we probably all break the law at some point throughout the day because we didn't know. And that's probably the case with a lot of people.
And you can even ask different attorneys and things like that, and they may have a different interpretation of it. That's
Yeah.
very true. You're right. I mean,
From one side to the other,
That's
you
right.
might say.
yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think people, you're probably always going to have that resistance, I guess, or whatever. It's a small town. You guys know that. I mean, there's no surprises.
Yeah, we've already pretty much proven that it's only our cameras that they get upset about.
Yeah, but I think that
Because look how many cameras were out during the parade. Look how many cameras are out at Schweitzer Fest. And you can't even know that me and Ronnie, I used to reach her, I don't remember exactly, maybe 3 or 4 Schweitzer Fests in a row. This has been several years back. And we literally dug through the trash and took out bottles, plastic bottles, because I was collecting caps, and I put the plastic bottles over into the recycle container, and I picked up every piece of trash off the ground through that whole park.
I'm not surprised.
That was left by the end of the night, I'm saying. You know, because some people probably did throw their stuff in the trash, but a lot of them didn't. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff people
We
don't.
get a bad rep sometimes, Lori.
And I don't care, really. It doesn't, that doesn't bother, but what does bother me is to be hit, because I have had 7 back surgeries, and I have already, in 2016, I was ready to go. I had to, it was so horrific. I had to resign myself. It was ready to go. I was ready to go. And I have made a vow since then, I'm not going through number 8.
I don't like
It's not going to happen. So,
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the Mike Coker Awards. That used to be like a coding cap.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
We've gotten so many. Well, I don't drink soda now. I'm 2 years no soda, but we've gotten so many points that we get coupons like 120 for free 12 packs, and I take them all in at once to Walmart. Like, yeah, I need a card.
Yeah, I remember those caps.
I haven't had a soda since June of 2003. So I have you beat, but it's okay.
That's amazing.
You're addicted to milkshakes, though.
No, well, yeah, sometimes I do get addicted to milk. But then I switched it to sweet tea. So then when I was walking Washington Hill, I had to give up the sweet tea. So I did give up the sweet tea. But then winter came on, and you know what happens when winter comes on and you're inactive. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get a treadmill for home, I guess, and get back on it. And
Yeah.
protein, lots of protein, that's what I need.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sure you got other things that you want to accomplish or whatever, So.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, guys. I'll definitely do that. I'll get you. We're playing around with that new system that we have, and it gives one of the new features is that citizen upload thing. So.
Oh, so I did tell you I was going to follow up.
Yeah.
The pricing of the body cam footage. What is
Okay.
the process of that?
So my interpretation of that, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot. My interpretation of it is where, from what I was told through our attorney, is I think that was Henderson that was referenced on there.
No, it was
Which
not Vincent. Not El Carrillo.
I'd have to look at it.
yeah, whichever agency that
swear,
was
I can't
referenced in there. What they do differently than us is it looks to me like what I read there, they charged $150 per copy of the same incident, is the way I understood that. That is not what we do here. So like in other words, if you came in and said, I need video footage from the case number, blah, 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 on this night, there might be 5 or 6 videos of that particular case, different perspective, different officers or whatever. We charge $150 to release everything we got, not per video. Our attorney said that's the difference between the way our policy is and theirs. And that's, he interpreted it that's where the concern was on how they do it.
And what if someone only asked for one video?
Of the 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's the same thing because
Then it's still wrong, possibly, then.
possibly. But the reason why that charge is there is because there is time and used to
History.
redact.
Yeah.
You got to redact things, like if it's HIPAA stuff or things of juveniles or something like that is unrelated to the event. So there's things, we have to go through those things and look at each frame to make sure there's nothing in there that violates policy to release. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is that's where that comes in. So if there wasn't a fee on there,
I'm not saying no fee at all.
yeah.
Well, I even told City
But-
Hall they should charge because they don't charge for their camera footage. They said they are thinking about it. I said, well, you should definitely charge something.
Yeah.
Poor Connie, she's got enough to do over there.
Yeah, you're right
I
about
love
that.
Connie Burger.
Yeah.
she's a hard
she's
worker.
Great. She's very good.
She's very good.
Well, I know there's other. That was just one that I sent you. There's others that the public access counselor has addressed, and And there's examples of
Muncie was the city.
A five-
Muncie.
a
Yeah,
5-minute
I believe-
video that doesn't require any redaction
And
should not be charged $150.
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What about a news, like as people say, mainstream media? Because anybody is a journalist if they pick up a camera. So what about mainstream media? What do you make them sue you to get it if you don't want to release something? Do they have to sue you to get it, or do they eventually get it, whatever they're asking for, or
Well, they might,
and do they get
do
charged?
pay,
Yeah, I
but
mean, they would do public
open records
requests
requests
and everything just like anybody else. So yeah,
Which I guess if it were ongoing case or whatever, then
right.
like what
You gotta
happened
delay
with
it or whatever.
So we went to
Peyton.
we got body cameras. I want to say 2016 is when we got cameras, and we went through that whole thing with that period of the all the attorneys and stuff building our policy and all that. And what they did is they got policies from like Evansville Police Department and some of the places that got body cameras before us. Being a smaller agency, we kind of
Yeah.
came in on the backside, and our attorneys worked with their attorneys and all that. And so we were under the impression, we were told that this is consistent with what other police departments do. That was why it was implemented. And the big thing that I've always heard as being the chief from the trainings and things that I went through as chief school is that consistency is the key. So whatever I charge you, I gotta make sure that I'm charging
It has to be fair to everyone.
anybody else the
yeah.
same, right? So that's always been our policy that we always try to follow is that, once the fees are set, it's very important that everybody's the same. We're not gonna pick and choose, this person pays, this person don't, or whatever. So it's established in policy, and that's how it is. But I saw that, I read it, and I think that's the only difference in what they're doing compared to how I do it, as far as releasing those. So, and that may make a difference or not. Our attorney says that it does. That the interpretation of how Muncie is doing it is not the way he interprets.
No, it's not going to be not every case that you read on there is going to be exactly
That's right.
the
But it
same.
also does say
But-
the actual cost. So if it takes, someone 1 hour to go through a 5 or 6 minute video, then you can charge. Let's just say they're paid at $20 an hour. Then you could charge $20 for
For
that
that time.
video,
Yeah.
but not anymore. But I mean, I'm more than happy to look up some more things. And
Yeah, I think that the way that the statute was, and don't
Yeah,
quote me by any means, but I think the way that our attorney interpreted it was that law enforcement agencies can elect to choose to charge up to $150, right?
But not as a flat
But
rate.
not as a
fee.
flat rate.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
That was the big thing.
yeah, and see the way our attorney interpreted it is that if we write in our ordinance of fees and we decide this is what we're going to charge, as long as it doesn't exceed that, we can set whatever it is that we want. As long everybody has to be charged the same. That's the way that he interprets it.
Well,
I'll
I
be
have
happy
an
to have
idea.
him revisit and look at it.
How about this idea? How about we put in a request for a body cam footage and we send it up to them and then see what they say? That would give a definite opinion. It's an opinion, right?
Send it up to who?
The Public Access Council.
Oh,
IPAC,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we got to be mindful of the fact that every video is going to be different, right? I mean, some videos.
And that's the reason why they say it's up to, so that if somebody only needs 5 minutes of footage, not 30 minutes, or, like
Or an hour.
for the case with Peyton where it was like a long night, you know what I'm
And
saying?
it gets to be complicated because you might sit down and start on it, and you get called away. And you got to pause it and everything. And
No, but just like you probably have to write your mileage down or
Sure,
different things, you
yeah.
can
I'm
stop
not
the
saying-
clock, right,
I'm
and
not
start
saying
the
it's not
clock.
possible. It's something that can be.
Well, I'm just saying, wouldn't that give us a? I don't know how they do opinions. I don't know if they have to have so many complaints in about the same agency before they issue an opinion.
No, I think they.
It's every single one,
Yeah.
or okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. How
When
that
I'm willing
worked.
to work further on that with you in the future, not just like, let's get this done in a week type thing.
Well, I
but-
can tell you, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's no question at all. If we're doing something that's not in compliance with law, then I don't want to do it. I mean, I want to make sure that we're, And like I said, other than what you have pointed out to me, that's never been challenged, okay? So no one's ever said that. So I have zero problems with, you know, cross-checking it with other attorneys or whatever, but I shared with our attorney what you sent me, and I said, you know, I know he's gonna follow back up, which I'm glad you did. And he looked at the two, and he felt like the way that we do it and the way that Muncie do it is you know, much different, because, you know, if somebody came here and wanted 5 videos, we're gonna charge them $150 to release those 5 videos. If you take those same requests to Muncie, that's gonna be, you know, a pretty significant request, upward of $1,000, right? You know, because he's gonna charge $150 per each one of them. So,
Well, not now, they won't.
yeah,
it'll be according to how long the video is, and
yeah,
you know, because they recommended that particular case, I think, because I read 2 different cases, so I may be confusing this, but they recommended that the guy get a refund. That's why they tell people, and I always tell people online, make sure you ask for the cost up front, because if they fulfill your request, you're probably obligated by law to pay that bill.
yeah.
Right? Would that be the case? Yeah, exactly.
And see,
So
we don't get a whole lot of those requests, because keep in mind that like anything that results in a criminal case, it's already gonna go to the attorneys, like the defense attorneys, and you know, it'll go to the prosecutor first, and the defense attorneys will file for discovery and get a copy of it that way. So we're not giving it to them. The prosecutor's office is, you know. So a lot of the videos that people ask for are a product of criminal cases, and those requests normally
they
doesn't
don't
come
just
to us.
normally come in, and
Right.
other than the news, big
Yeah.
news agencies or something.
One,
People always say online, what about the follow through? Well, you know, you just watch whatever I put out, and like, I don't have the energy for this, really, truthfully, at all. Okay, I'm just barely existing. So, you know, if you want to call them and follow through with it, you're just more than welcome to pick the phone up and call. Because, you know, you don't know. Sometimes you're just going down the road, like the other night, you know, they had a couple pulled over there by Ohio Valley Towing. So I pulled over by Lickety Split and got out and filmed. But I thought that was a crazy pace to pull people over, but that's what they did, so.
okay, actually, I have 2 questions.
Oh, Lord help us.
Can you tell me the name of that officer with the wreath on his car?
Sergeant Bieber.
Sergeant Bieber? Okay. And then the other question, I don't know all the nuances of it yet, but are you still enforcing the 25-foot rule for when recording near police?
You know, we are aware of it. That was a legal update that we all received, and there was some discussion on it. It's not been a big issue that we've had, you know, that I'm aware of, that nobody has told me. So, I mean, I suppose that it's something that could be enforced if it becomes an issue, but I'm not aware of it being an issue.
So the
Well,
person
so it
whose
was-
name that was done in is in the Mishawaka, I don't know if that's St. Joe County or what that is, but
Well, hold on.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
The thing with that is there is an injunction against
Yeah.
the law right now.
But that's what I started to say. But that person is a YouTuber, and he said that his attorney advised him to, because, you know, they don't know 100% what that would entail. Does that mean if just because there's an injunction means there's probably going to be more hearings, right? More court stuff to
And they'll kind of linger on a little bit.
linger on. Yeah, and advised him to be careful, you know, like because he's on YouTube and people are thinking, oh, now you can go and get within.
Well,
you know.
I think I'll just say this. I mean, I think our experience with you, cause more her, because we don't see you that much. You know, I think our officers are starting to understand what you do more, and you know, I mean, it's becoming more and more, and I think that they're starting to understand that, respect that. It's the other people's reaction that ends up kind of being a deal. You know, it's not our officers' reaction to you that is the big concern. It's everybody else's. So I think that as we are all becoming more comfortable with it and understanding, I think I don't perceive that being an issue, because you know, when you guys are doing your thing, I'm not aware of you all really wanting to become a problem there, or interfere with the officer?
No,
and
I
things
have
like
told
that?
like the state police that showed up in Candleton with that guy that set the apartment on fire upstairs. When the police officer, the state policeman, rolled up through the intersection on the opposite end of that block, I was standing by the pizza place, whatever it's called, Iron Gate, is that what it's called? And I told him, if you need me to go, somewhere else, just tell me and I will move. And then I ended up moving over to the other side by that utility office because there was a bunch of cars there with people in there videotaping and stuff. And I've told that to Officer Ori, ask him if where I'm at is okay or, whatever. And like the night with Peyton, well, I was just walking past the fountain when the state policewoman was coming past, and I heard a shot ring out, so I just went right back to the steps and got down by the steps, and she backed her car up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just used my own judgment as to when I felt like apparently the threat is over, before I approached any closer. And that was quite some time down. So, yeah, I'm not out here looking to get shot. Trust me.
I know.
Trust me, you know what I'm saying? But I am also not going to be bullied either. And that's how I feel. I feel bullied, not just by the people, but
Okay.
by your officers as well. That's how I feel at this point. And
Well, I wish the more I get to know you all, I really wish there was common ground a little bit more to where there's no tension and things like that. I mean, because there certainly isn't with me. I want you to know that. I mean, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye on stuff, and sometimes when I come in, emotions are high and things, but honestly, there's common ground here. I mean, I don't have any kind of problems with you all. In fact, I mean, my thoughts were always like, man, what could we accomplish together? What just imagine what we could do together, instead of feeling like we're working against each other at times. You guys are out here, you're seeing things, you're almost like being a part
is it still going? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh,
being a
some
part, being a
message
part
came
of
up.
it, kind of working for free. You're like a reserve police officer for us. You're catching the.
I'm not wanting people to get tickets.
No,
I'm just
I know.
wanting them to hopefully think about it.
But I bet you your presence is slowing people down.
Oh, there are some, I get the feeling sometimes that they stop suddenly, because all of a sudden they see
That's
you.
our
But
biggest goal is voluntary compliance. Getting people to do the right thing without us having to write a bunch of tickets. I mean, I don't like to do that. I don't like to issue a bunch of citations. I don't. I'd rather people just do the right thing and learn from it. So that's my thoughts. So.
well, at this point in juncture, I think that when they blatantly come online and they write that they do it all the time, they don't have any intentions of stopping doing it, right? And when they see officers do it, and I've had even older people at McDonald's, and well, this one particular couple has both passed away now, but they've talked about watching the cop run more than one stop sign right in a row and just different things, so.
I told the mayor last year, or it might have been the year before, that we was talking about you one day. And I told him, I said, one of my goals before I retire, because I can retire anytime, we can retire 20 years, I'm at 23 years now. I said, one of my goals before I retire is I'm going to get Lori into the Citizens Police Academy class.
Won't happen.
And he said, I don't think you can. I said, I'm going to keep on working on it.
You're like, challenge accepted.
I'm going to take little bites at it every
No,
now and
because
then.
even though you sometimes see one side of me, you don't know that I literally, this is a lot of times why I only go to the same restaurant almost every time, right? My husband and I used to drive up and down that stretch and pull over into a parking lot because if there was one too many cars in my brain,
Yeah.
I couldn't pull in there to go in. So I've come a long way,
I believe that.
but still yet, there are times I drive right through the parking lot at McDonald's and leave because there's just too many people there on a given day that maybe I just don't feel.
We keep a real small group because we like to get discussion. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man,
No, because I don't think that Well, I'm just gonna stop right there.
Well, no, I mean, I jokingly say that, but I'm serious. I mean, I think, man, it would be because the goal of that is to address a lot of the things that
Well,
Can she film it?
gets police scrutiny and stuff like that.
Well, I think that you have enough on your hands just trying to teach your deputies to stop at stop signs and stoplights, and
I disagree.
you know,
I'm gonna keep working on it though, a little bit at a time.
I can promise you when
I
I
don't
tell
have
when I
any.
tell you it will never happen. Ask him what would happen if he didn't get up when I told him to for school. If I tell you I'm gonna put some water on you,
Hey, we don't need to put that on YouTube.
if I tell you I'm gonna put some water, you know, like a little cup of water and put some drops on your face or head. When I told him, he learned. You better get up. So that's how that is. Yeah.
Don't count me out just yet.
Well, just, you know,
It's probably not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen. I promise.
Maybe you can be our keynote speaker one night.
No, that's definitely not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's definitely not
teach
gonna
You
happen.
can teach the class on First Amendment.
Hey, I don't know enough about it myself.
You would be all over that, wouldn't
Heck yeah. That's my jam.
you?
Oh no, just ask him about DOS.
Shut up.
Ask him about DOS operating system.
Again, we don't need to put that on YouTube.
He got all excited going into Honsteins, is that how you say it? Honsteins? Because he saw an operating system that looked like the DOS system and he
Well,
got,
it was.
oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he called it something. I don't know.
Well, it was DOS based.
Oh, DOS based,
that
okay.
a-
I don't
It was
know.
pre-Windows.
Ooh, so that's how. I
Yeah.
can see Honstein.
He's a nerd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see Honstein still having that. He's a little old school. So,
yeah.
Well, there's a program that I had searched for 20 years. DOS-based program, and I finally got it. But yeah, I spent 20 years.
Was that the one that the librarian gave you? Or
Yeah.
You know Debbie from the library?
Yeah.
She had that program he had searched for 20 years and she gave it to him. She knows he's a nerd.
Anyways.
well, you all have a good night. I'll send
Yeah,
that
we better
email
go out
to
there
you,
and
okay?
Okay.
All right.
rescue the Ronnie.
Okay, y'all be careful. Don't get too cold, Lori.
Yeah, well, it's coming.